Okay, let's try our second tutorial. So I'm going to go back to my OnShape. I'm going to start a part. I'm going to call it tutorial 2. And here I am. Couple more little tools to know about. If I take 2 fingers and I tap on the drawing area, it brings up a window. Okay, this one doesn't show that many tools, but if you notice, if I touch on the screen once, it goes away. If I touch on a plane and highlight a plane, like the front plane, and then off to the side, I use 2 fingers and touch, it'll bring up a bigger menu. So try doing that, and then I tap outside of the plane and everything, and it goes away. If I touch with 2 fingers, it brings it back. Okay, so play around with that. If I double tap, then the plane will get deselected. So get familiar with doing that. So first what we're going to do is we're going to select the front plane. So highlight the front plane, touch it once. Then you can go over to our cube and you can select front. And you'll see that we're doing it directly, we're looking straight at the front view. Okay, now I want to start a sketch on this. I want to draw on this front plane. Okay, so how you're going to do that, there's 2 different ways you can do that. One is you can take your 2 fingers and tap outside there, and you see it when you bring up this menu at the very top, it says sketch. So I can click on that. I can also click in the upper left hand corner, there's 2 little arrows, and then there's something that looks like a pencil. So I can click there. Either way, I'm starting a sketch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the upper left hand corner and I'm going to select a sketch. Okay, and you notice when I do that, 2 things happen. One, it brought up this menu of all these different sketch tools that I can use. The other thing it did is in the bottom right hand corner, it shows sketch 1, it shows that you are now making a sketch. Okay, if I hit the X button, that means I want to stop making that sketch. If I go back to my pencil, it'll show, oopsie, I tried to start a sketch, but I didn't have a plane selected. And you notice it gives me like a little warning. It says select a plane, face, or surface to sketch on. So I'm going to select my front plane, and then everything goes back to how it was. Okay? So what we're going to do in this video is we're just going to draw some lines. So you can see in the left side that you have all these different sketch tools. And the upper left one says line. So if I select that button, you can see now at the top, upper left, I have 2 arrows, a pencil, looks like a ball, it looks like a solid line to a dotted line, and next to that is just a line and it's highlighted. That's showing that highlighted line is showing that I am now in the line sketch tool. So if I touch the screen, the drawing screen, I'm going to be making a line. So if you just touch once anywhere, it'll put down a point. And then if you touch someplace else, it'll make a line. Now if I touch another place, it's going to continue making that line. Like it's going to keep going. Okay? Now let's say, ooh, I didn't like that. I can undo, and I can hit the back arrow in the upper left hand corner. Another thing I can do is I can take my 2 fingers and I can tap on the screen. Let's see. Oh, what I needed to do was I can go up and I can deselect the line tool at the upper, next to the, in the upper left-hand corner. See how I can turn that on and off? If that's off, and then if I highlight a line, and I want that to, so I highlight the line I want to delete, and then I take my 2 fingers and tap on the screen, I can go down and hit delete. Okay, so I can tap on 2 lines, take my 2 fingers and delete. I'm going to delete that one as well. So now I've got a clean slate. The last thing we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how to draw a line, like a vertical and a horizontal line through the center. So first what you're going to do is you're going to, up at the top, you can see you still have the line tool up there. So you can either just select that line tool right there to do a line, or you can select your pencil and go select your line tool there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, instead of just tapping on the screen, I'm going to put my finger down and hold it and try to get it in a certain spot. So you see, oopsie, that didn't work very well. Something happened there. Let me undo that. So when I put my finger down, see how it just has an X, and when I move it around, if I bring it down, if I bring it to the origin, it kind of highlights the origin. If I bring it down below the origin, it kind of seems like it's snapping to be, you know, perfectly below the origin. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it down below the origin. Okay. And then I'm going to touch and hold it up top, and you can see I can move that around until I'm happy. Now if I want a perfectly vertical line, it kind of snaps into place. And you can see that. Okay, now if I touch the screen again, it's going to connect those, but I don't want it to be connected. I want to make now a y-axis. So I'm going to go up to the top of my screen and I'm going to deselect the line. So see how the line tool is highlighted? I'm going to touch that and it deselects it. The other way you can deselect it is by double tapping on your drawing screen. No, that didn't work. I guess you have to deselect it up here. Okay, so now that I've deselected it, now I can go back and I can select the line tool again, and now it'll make a new line. So I'm going to touch and hold and snap it so that it's aligned with the origin again. Now we're making like an x-axis, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay, so now we have an x and y axis. Now here's an interesting thing, is you can highlight these lines. See how I highlighted those? And up at the top, right next to our line tool, where it has a straight line, like a solid line to a dotted line right next to the line tool, if I touch on that, it's going to turn these solid lines into dashed lines. Okay, and now if I tap outside, it shows that these are dashed lines. That means that these are construction lines. So it's not going to be part of our 3D part, but it's going to be used as reference. And this is a good practice to get into making construction lines. This is really important. I know it's kind of hard getting used to this, so watch this video and practice as many times as you need to until you get it down.